300 nights. If you stack them end to end, that's almost a full year of my life spent sleeping alone in the wilderness. No phone service, no other people, sometimes not another human being for miles in any direction. And when people find out, they always ask the same two questions. The first one is, aren't you scared? And the answer to that question surprised even me. The second question is the reason I'm making this video. What does that do to you? Because something does happen. It's just not the thing everyone expects. And one part of it I genuinely didn't see coming. And I'm still not sure it's good. First, context, because I want you to trust the sample size. This isn't one dramatic survival story. It's over 125 trips, 2 to 4 nights each, mountains, deserts, rain, snow, the same experiment run 300 times. What changed in me wasn't one big moment. It was repetition. And here's the thing that experiment teaches you, usually within 24 hours. Your head is loud. You don't notice it in normal life because normal life is louder. There's always a podcast, a notification, a screen. But walk 8 hours into the backcountry, set up camp, eat dinner, and then nothing. No input, just you. And your brain, which has never once been left alone with itself, absolutely panics. The first night of any trip, my head replays everything. Old arguments, emails I phrased badly, things I said in 2014, whether I should switch my cat food from dried food to canned. It's like my brain saved up every awkward moment and unresolved errand of my life for exactly this occasion. And here's what I learned 300 nights in. That noise isn't the wilderness doing something to you. That noise was always there. The wilderness just turns off everything you were using to drown it out. Most of us have built our entire lives so we never have to sit in that. I know I had. But out there, you can't leave. The nearest distraction is a 2-day walk away. And somewhere around hour 30 or 40, something happens that I've never found anywhere else. For me, it's usually the second morning, coffee in hand, sitting on a rock, when I realize I've been staring at the same patch of fog for 20 minutes, thinking about absolutely nothing. The noise doesn't get quieter, it just runs out. And what's left underneath is the actual answer to what does it do to you? I'll get there, but first I have to tell you about night 1, my very first solo trip, and the night this whole thing almost ended before it started. So my very first solo trip, night 1, no track record, zero evidence I could even do this, and every sound in that forest was happening to a person whose imagination had never once been proven wrong. Around midnight, I wake up to footsteps, heavy, 4-footed, real weight moving around the dark, deliberate and close to my tent. Every prehistoric alarm in my body goes off at once and I'm lying there completely still, doing the math that every first-time solo camper does. The car is 8 miles away. There is no one to call. Whatever happens in the next 10 minutes, the entire response team is me. The animal in my head was a mountain lion. And I want you to know that lying in that sleeping bag, I made an actual decision. I was prepared to fight it to the death. The animal in real life? It was a squirrel. A squirrel. The thing I was rehearsing my obituary over could have sat in my coffee mug. Because that's what nobody tells you about nights in the woods. Every sound arrives at like 10 times its actual size. And on night 1, you have no way of knowing that yet. And by the way, there are like 6 more stories this embarrassing on this channel, so subscribe if that's your thing. Anyways, here's the part that matters. Lying there, and honestly for a long time afterwards, because I didn't understand this in the moment, I started to see that there are 2 completely different things I'd been calling fear. There's the jolt, the heart rate, the body saying that something is happening. You don't get to opt out of that one. 300 nights doesn't remove it. And that was the answer that surprised me. No, I never stopped being scared. But then there's the second thing, the story your brain attaches to the fear. The part of you that takes one sound and writes a whole horror movie, casts the mountain lion, plays out the fight scene, and that part, it turns out, is trainable. Night after night, sound after sound, you get data. The snap was a branch. The footsteps were the squirrel. The scratching sound was just a mouse trying to get into your food bag. 300 nights of data, and the horror movie writer in your head slowly loses all credibility. It's been wrong every single time. Now, I didn't become fearless. I just became accurate. And the thing nobody tells you, the reason this video isn't really about camping, is the voice that turns a squirrel into a mountain lion is the same voice that turns one email from your boss into getting fired, one weird pause from a friend into the end of a friendship. And once you've caught it lying about a squirrel, you start catching it everywhere. So 300 nights. What does it actually do to you? All right, I owe you some answers, including the part I told you at the start I'm still not sure is good. That one's last because it only makes sense after the rest. So let's start with the silence. The thing that panicked me on night one. There's a specific moment on every trip. Your camp set, dinner's eaten, the sun's going down, and there is nothing left to do and nowhere to be. Trip 1, that moment made me itchy. I'd have traded a boot for a podcast. Somewhere around trip 10, that exact moment became the reason I drive 4 hours and carry my house uphill on my back. I'm not afraid of an empty hour anymore, and you'd be amazed how rare that is, and how much money the modern world spends making sure you never have one. And let me bust a myth while I'm here, because people assume that 300 nights of silence turns you into some infinitely patient Zen monk. It does not. Waiting in line is still boring as hell. Traffic is still traffic. 300 nights of profound stillness in the mountains, and the DMV still remains undefeated. What 300 nights did give me is something better than patience. I trust myself in a way I didn't before. Because out there, when something breaks, there's this little 2-second pause where you wait for someone else to deal with it and nobody comes. Stove dies at dinner, your problem. Boots soaked, your problem. Weird noise at midnight, congratulations, also your problem. I've lived that 2-second pause 300 times now, and every single time, the only guy available figured it out. And at some point that stops being hope and starts being a pattern. So when something blows up at work now, I don't really panic anymore. There's just that little pause and then, okay, what's first? But I promised you the part I'm not sure is good. And here it is, because if I just sold you on solitude for 10 minutes straight, you shouldn't trust me. Is solo backpacking sometimes a bit of an escape? Yeah. There have been some trips where I really wasn't walking toward anything out there. I was really walking away from something back here. And the whole enterprise of solo backpacking is, by design, a little selfish. 300 nights where the only person whose needs mattered was me. I'm aware. My friends are aware. But here's what I keep noticing. I come back from trips better, more patient, easier to be around, less likely to write a horror movie about a text that says, we need to talk. The most selfish thing I do might be the reason I'm tolerable the rest of the time. And honestly, I can live with that. So those are the changes that I can put into words. But the best answer to what does 300 nights do to you isn't a list. It can be summed up in one night. A while back, somewhere around night 290 something, a pack of coyotes started howling really close to camp, middle of the night. If you've never heard that sound, it's not a gentle woo at the moon, it's shrieking, cackling, a dozen voices overlapping. It sounds exactly like something out there is being psychotically murdered, and the murderers are having the time of their lives. The first time I ever heard that sound, it chilled me to the bone. I was scrambling for my knife before I was even fully awake. Then just lying there, gripping it, waiting for the attack to come. Night 290 something? Same sound. Same chill, honestly, but a completely different kind. Because the actual thought in my head as the whole deranged choir got going was, Oh, nice. Something to listen to while I fall asleep tonight. The coyotes didn't change. Same dark, same forest, same horror movie soundtrack. The only thing that's different is the guy in the sleeping bag. People ask what 300 nights alone in the wild does to you, and they're usually hoping for something mystical. The honest answer is smaller and better. It doesn't add anything. It subtracts the noise, the imaginary mountain lions, and what's left when all that's gone is just you. Turns out you were under there the whole time. Now, I wasn't always like this. My early solo trips, I was genuinely scared, and I made a whole video about that, what the fear was like and how it changed over 100+ trips. If tonight's video was the after, that one's the before, and it's right there. So sleep well wherever you are, and I'll see you on the trail.